Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Ethereum, Solana, and injective price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. We start with Ethereum here on the daily chart where we have a 112 where we are looking for wave 2 corrective channel here, starting with 3 waves for wave A, wave B, and wave C as an ending diagonal, opening here the possibility for a finished structure in the perfect blue box between the 0.618 and the 0.786, and also as a precision in case we are in an ABC and the wave C is a 1 2 3 or WX and a Y, sorry, I would say, and the wave Y here as an A, B, and a C, and the wave C is 1 2 3 4 5. This is in precision as well as a target for a wave of 5. So I would like to see, of course, a reaction for Ethereum here, showing a little bit of higher prices. However, if this still requiring one more low, potentially can be, of course, on the micro level where we're gonna dive a little bit deeper inside it here. So basically, if we are in this potential scenario here, where we are looking at a correction, somehow we took the invalidation for bearish, meaning if you are in an expanding a diagonal here for wave 1 and then you got a wave 3 and you're looking for a wave 4, well, the invalidation has been taken because the wave 4 is not allowed to interfere with the zone 1. Besides this, we still are looking here potentially as well for 1 2 3 4 and a 5, a leading diagonal, which it might be 1 2 or an A, B, and a C toward the upside. And that means, of course, this can be something looking for higher, at least a 1-to-1 fib level, or even an impulse as a 1 2 3 4 and a 5. So we're gonna watch, of course, exactly what's gonna happen there. Now, a confirmation for higher prices would be, of course, by taking this all-time high one more time. I mean, not all-time high in the history, but exactly in this correction here, where we might see a confirmation for higher prices exactly there. Okay, 2,890, maybe a little bit lower here should be 2,885. So if this is gonna be the situation where a wave 2 is gonna finish up somewhere here and moving toward the upside, that might be, of course, your confirmation exactly from this level. If we take a look also at KGT for Ethereum, so for Ethereum on the 1-minute chart here, and of course with the maximum strengths here for the signals, we can see that we got, of course, a buy signal from there, and we start to see another buy signal, of course, with kind of like an open price toward the upside within the signal as well. We can see also here a potential of divergence with the price and the signals of bullish, and we see continuation toward the upside. Regarding the bearish signal, we can see, of course, that we got the first one there, and it was invalidated by taking the high here, which it was an invalidation for the bearish. And obviously we continue with another signal again, which it took the high for the previous one, and again showing a weakness, meaning not taking the low, and still, of course, getting another bullish signal there to move toward the upside. So currently, of course, as this bearish signal as well, it has invalidated the previous one, meaning even this drop down is gonna be a weak one, and that means it's gonna be corrective without taking the low here probably, and then moving toward the upside. It's a signal of strength, of course, here on KGT, where we are looking here at a potential wave 2 or a wave B, and then continuation toward the upside. So kind of like a high possibility here that it might happen. That it regarding Ethereum. If we move for Solana, we are looking also at the all-time history first, where we gonna dive later with the micro level. So basically in Solana, we are in an impulse, wave 1 or wave A, wave B or wave 2, continuation impulsively as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 potential target that it might be extending here as a wave 4. And you're getting a 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 here as, of course, a leading diagonal. And we are estimating the wave 2 exactly inside it. In case that we are not in this possibility for higher prices, we might, of course, dive deeper towards the $75 for Solana. Why? Because you have, of course, wave A as 3 waves. You're looking for 3 waves down here for wave B, and then continuation towards the upside. Otherwise, you are in a 1 2. Another 1 2 potentially finished here as, of course, 1 2 3 4 5, expanding diagonal. And then A, B, and a C for a wave to 0.38 fib level, and which is a minimum requirement around the $75. So most of the targets in case of lower prices gonna unfold are, of course, coinciding inside the same price action, $75 for Solana, and then start to think about something toward the upside. In case it is bullish, it might continue, but in case it is a deeper correction, it still can be, of course, forming here three ways down, three ways up again, and then, of course, an impulse for a wave C. But of course, this is still a little bit far possibility for now for Solana. Now, if we dive inside it on the 2 hour chart for the micro level, we are looking, of course, at this impulse, not impulse actually, diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 as a wave 1. And obviously, we are in three ways potentially here unfolding toward the downside, unless of course it can be the W, X, and a Y. The wave Y, well, it cannot be really so much a big impulse as we can see, so very likely you are in an ABC here. The wave B is there where you have 1 2, and then probably the wave 3 finished and you're looking for 4 and a 5. Now, if we dive inside the micro again for Solana here, we can see clearly that we have hit the target here that we were expecting for an A, B, and a C. In case you are in A, B, C here, you have hit perfectly the 1-to-1 fib level, and we got a reaction toward the downside. However, it's still also very likely and possible that you might get double 1 2 here, and then 3 4 5 towards the upside. So still, of course, not very strong evidence that we move toward the downside. Now, of course, the reaction was impulsive somehow, 1 2 3 4 5, and that means something, unless, of course, it is an ABC here finishing up as a zigzag and you continue in a wave 2 3 4 and a 5 toward the upside. If we dive also in the KGT for Solana, we can see clearly in this low, we got a buy signal. The CVD line was still, of course, moving toward the downside, creating a huge divergence here for the bullish within the signal. Bullish given, and of course, invalidation of the bearish signal given later on, because as you can see, we have took the high here with the prices where we have the signals exactly over there. And again, another signal as bearish has been given. Again, invalidation, because of course it took the high, meaning a weakness, of course, a weak drop here might be unfolding, especially that we start to see some double signals for the bullish again, which is of course probably giving a higher possibility here to continue toward the upside somehow, probably as double 1 2. However, if the price continue for lower, of course, that means if you take this low here, might be a confirmation, of course, for lower prices. So we're gonna put this confirmation for lower prices. That means, of course, invalidation of double 1 2, $125. Yep, so that was it for Solana. If we move to Injective, for Injective on the all-time history as well, we're gonna start with this one where we have, of course, a 1 2, potentially another 1 2 unfolding in double 1 2 here on the all-time history. However, it can be also as well wave A in a zigzag finish. You're looking here for a deep correction, especially because of the time taken for this wave 2 is start, of course, to give a little bit much more possibility for a wave B, big wave B, as of course wave A, B, and a C toward the upside. If this is a wave B here, you have already finished a three waves towards the downside in a wave A or W. You're looking for a wave B here or a wave X. That means in case of a wave C unfolding here, it can be, of course, the diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unfolding there, or even it can be a triangle A, B, C, D, E, because, of course, you might be in W, X, and a Y, and it might range here anyway to take the time 0.618 fib level, of course, minimum requirement to create a balance, of course, with this correction before we move toward the upside. If we dive deeper inside the 2 hours chart here, we are looking as well at this possibility potentially here, double 1 2, wave 3, wave 4 5, 4 5 can be truncation, moving toward the upside, or it can be, of course, a W, X, and a wave Y. The wave Y, as you mentioned in the daily, can be something as a triangle here. You got already the A, the B, and this is the C, and you're looking for a wave D and a E, of course, to be finished before we start to move toward the upside. In case, of course, of a wave F5 in a diagonal, we have reached the 1-to-1 fib level. And that means, of course, invalidation of a diagonal because wave 3 is longer than the wave 1. So this possibility is a little bit far right now. We cannot really call it. And I think that one of these possibility can be, of course, the WX and a Y, where you finish also a 3 waves toward the downside can be, of course, and moving for something for higher, or you are in a triangle here, also moving for higher. Now, internally, as a very micro level, in case that we are still very corrective here, very likely that you are in 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. The wave 4 might still be unfolding here as a very corrective wave. Of course, if we take a look at the time here, it is very likely that it is range sideways also as alternation, and that we might still get one more drop toward the downside. So I would say, of course, the price still can be possibly open, of course, for a deeper wave 5 here. Yeah, so we still have a potential scenario for this. And if we dive inside the count of the wave here, well, we cannot really count 1, 2. This also looks a little bit even as a triangle like ABC, and then wave D and a wave E here has took the high, meaning invalidation. Even triangle is not the case. That means can be an A, a B, and a C, or W, X, and a Y. In case we push a little bit higher, can be, of course, something as a diagonal or ending diagonal, finishing up here to take this high, but very, very long sideways here. And I believe, of course, that it might unfold sooner or later, something for lower, and then probably pushing up again, of course, for new highs. Yep, so that was it for Ethereum, Solana, and Injective. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye bye.